What's up, guys? Nature Girl 30 here, and I'm just gonna put in my 2 cents about this That's So Raven spinoff that's supposed to be about her being a single mom and all. I got a little bit more information about the show from MTV.com. I will actually leave the article in the description box for those that want to find out a little bit more about it. I ended up finding out that it's gonna be a spinoff to where she's gonna be a single mom and she's gonna have two kids, one named Nia and another one named Booker. They might change their names, who knows? Nia actually inherits her psychic abilities, and Booker is just going to be, I don't know, a dreamer, a hopeless dreamer, a waste of space. This is just my own personal theory. Every guy that is on a Disney Channel show ends up being a complete doofus, a moron, a Peter Pan dreamer, or just a waste of space. I'm sorry. It really pisses me off what they do to the men on these shows. It would have been nice for both of them to have psychic abilities because let's be honest, when it came to one of the shows that I love the most, and I guess it was during the whole Harry Potter phase when they had the with Wizards of Waverly Place, even though the youngest one didn't really need to have powers because he was too stupid to use them, he still, all three of them still had powers, and he still had a potential to actually be better, but he was just a doofus the whole time. That's the formula of every single Disney show that irritates me. They always have one smart one and one stupid one. Or if they have a twin, they have one sporty one smart one, and then they have to have a little brother that's either a nerd or a doofus. I'm like, come on, can we switch it up here? The one thing that bothers me about That's So Raven is that the show waited too long to have a spinoff. Way too long. It's been a while since That's So Raven's been off the air. And we all know how Raven is, especially when she was on The View, how controversial she was. And now that she's leaving The View and reprising her role on Disney, it's just going to be a little weird. Especially the fact that we know that she's openly gay, which makes me wonder if they're going to mention that on the show. If they are, that will be a huge step in Disney's direction. But as passive as well as neutral as Disney can be, I don't think that they are. I don't think they're going to mention a dad at all. I don't think we're going to even see a dad on the show now that we know that Raven is gay. And the guy is just going to be a moron. I just really want this just to be different. And every single show I see, every single time I actually see these shows on Disney, it always happens. The guys are idiots. So I really do want Booker to have some kind of common sense. It seems like he's going to be a dreamer. He's going to be a lech. He's not going to want to do anything. According to the article, I'm just improvising this. It didn't say that verbatim, but he says he's not in a rush to grow up. And usually when I hear that term, not in a rush to grow up, that means this guy's a lech. Seriously, he is a complete lech or a leech, whatever you call it. This guy is going to be an idiot, which really bothers me still. Now, Naya is going to be just like her mom. She's going to be all driven and all career oriented. You know, her mom might be a famous designer like what Raven wanted to be throughout the whole series. We might see their friends. We might not. Honestly, it would have been interesting to actually see Raven and Eddie get together, but somehow it didn't work out and they end up getting divorced, but somehow they try to work things out. I would have loved for Eddie and Raven to get together. It was obvious through some of the shows that Raven and Eddie had some sort of a connection, but it would have been nice to actually see him as the dad, or at least a divorced dad. There may not be a dad in this at all, especially with feminism being on the rise. And for those that have actually watched my channel, you know how much I can't stand it. But other than that, I'm just going to say this. I'm not too thrilled about the show. I'm really not. I'm not too thrilled about it coming back. It's been gone for far too long. Raven has revealed so much of herself to where it just doesn't seem like a perfect fit anymore. And honestly, it's going to seem completely out of place. It really is. And seeing how completely passive Disney is about their shows in general, I mean, look at Girl Meets World. It's completely, I wouldn't say vanilla, but it's just like straight up off the charts cheesy at times just to fit that whole Disney role. Most of the whole Disney shows have their sense of cheese in there, and I guess you can probably say that, Mickey Mouse, ha ha ha. But other than that, I do not know how this is gonna go. Knowing how and actually seeing how extreme Raven Simone has been over the years, especially how she's been in the news with all these controversial statements, I don't really know how it's going to work. And how her lifestyle is going to fit into this is going to be odd in itself. We know a lot, we know too much about her to really grab on to the series unless everybody in the world has an attention span the size of a gnat. That is the only way that this would work. I don't see it working. I don't. I want it to work ish, but I don't think it will. I'm sorry, it won't. And with the Disney formula having the guys look like morons on every single show, that I know it's just going to be something. It's going to be a bad taste in my mouth for me personally, because I would love to see some kind of a balance here. And I've already explained enough what my issues are about this entire series and how I don't think it's going to work. But when it comes to Nya, if Nya is going to be exactly like her mom, they need to switch it up. Seriously, they don't need to do the same. They're going to do the same exact formula to where she's going to have a vision. She's going to think it's going to go this way and it's going to go the other way. And then it's going to end up like, oh, shenanigans ensue. We've seen that before. When it comes to a spinoff, you got to do something different. The one thing I can say about Boy Meets World is that, yes, it was through a perspective of a boy growing up into a young man and then growing up into a man. Girl Meets World is a teenager transitioning into a young lady, transitioning into a young woman. At least I hope it goes that route. But other than that, it was different. It was different through the eyes of a guy and what the guy went through. And yes, it was a little bit more, now I'm not going to say risque, but it was a little bit more detailed and a little bit more in your face than it is now with Girl Meets World. It may be a bit passive, but there are episodes to where a lot of girls can relate in this day and age on what they're going through. Now, that's the one thing that I can say is a difference between Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World is by the perspective of the protagonist. And they did an amazing job with that. But when it comes to That's So Raven, when you have a chick with psychic powers, what in the world can you do with it? Like, seriously, which direction can you go to not make it similar to its predecessor? That's going to be a problem. When you come up with a spinoff, you got to have something different. You got to have some flavor. You can't make it the same way it used to be. But I can say this. It's been gone long enough to where people don't remember it. Maybe you'll have a completely fresh audience to where no one will actually remember That's So Raven. Actually go back and watch the show. But in my opinion, it's going to be wash, rinse, and repeat. Over and over and over and over again. I don't see this being special. I don't see a reason why this is happening. And I think it should have just stayed on the cutting room floor. I actually do hope that maybe it'll be at least 2 seasons and maybe the second season will be better. But I do not see this happening and not happening very well. I don't. And even though That's So Raven was that good to where they want to extend the seasons, and unfortunately they stopped it before it even had a finale, I don't see this happening, y'all. I really don't. I don't see this as a good show. I want to be wrong, but I am not seeing it as a good show. It's going to be the same flavor as how That's So Raven used to be. And not to mention, you're going to have the kids, but then you're going to be wanting to see some cameos from the old cast, and we might not even see that. I just don't see it happening. I really don't. But that's just my opinion. What's yours? What do you think about the possible spinoff for That's So Raven and seeing how Raven had kids and all that? How do you think it's going to pan out? Leave it in the comment section below. I'm curious to hear what y'all's thoughts are about this show because honestly, I don't think it's going to be that good. But hey, I could be wrong. But other than that, I want to hear your thoughts. Next Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.